Only
But the birth blessing is supposed to protect the children.
You succeeded! You succeeded! You succeed!
Do you have any more?
broke the seal. The grapes of the black vine are very powerful. It was created by Bel. In this respect, it resembles the. I have.
Black vine is a useful plant. It is to be.
So be it. You broke the seal. The master teaches us that what happened, the instruct or in a symbolic sacrifice. I have so. Those who follow the law in these decisions, they cannot take anyone into their secret confession. So.
All the seals are broken. This battle will be the hardest. Never forget, the High Prophet.
Chiron, good thing I found you. Azrael is attacking again, more violently than ever before.
She's retaliating for Father's liberation.
Whatever the reason, we don't have time. We have to defend the camp. My people are badly injured. A scout reported that Azrael will send new troops this way. Troops she rose magically. But the scout died before he could describe. I'll pull my people together.
If you want me dead, just say it.
You mean I'm going to let others do the dirty work for me? Surrender to the force of the gift, but without... No, Kylie. Take my 2 bodyguards. They shall help you in this battle.
So Here.
We held them off. Thank you, Chiron. 1,000 thanks. So many dead. But they bought us some time.
At least they've weakened Azrael. But they remain senseless victims of a senseless war.
Senseless as you hurting me, especially now. But that's immaterial. The survivors have little hope of defending our camp. Or storming Azrael's camp. Do you realize what that means, Chiron?
Your rebels will be sitting here in the camp waiting for the death blow.
That death will be ours as well, and your father's too. You do realize that.
There's a card we haven't played yet. Segal.
You think his knowledge could...
I will go see him.
Good. Azrael herself guards the very last seal in the monastery's inner sanctum. Even my gift cannot get us there. The only way in is by... The camp will remain a safe haven for you. In the meantime... But when we... But...
What if Ex Machina? I have never had a role model.
Segal, we need your help. Azrael has overrun the rebels. A counterattack would shatter the survivors. We'll never get the 7th seal.
You need an army. A mighty army, right?
It is your fight too. Now finally do something.
It is good. I want to help you. But I'll have to demand something of you first.
This is a damned poor time.
I have done much for you. Remember that, Chiron. The more pressing your time is, the more valuable the boon I ask. And the quicker you do what I want, the quicker you owe me nothing, if that is what you wish.
That is just sick.
As sick as love always is. A leader needs to learn that, and it makes me proud to see how quickly you learn. Still, I want this favor. Then you shall have your army.
Fine. What should I do?
You will get me some demonic acid. It is in the crypt under the Master's statue.
And I won't find out why I'm doing this until later.
Accept this uncertainty, or the certainty that Azrael will destroy you.
I've got what you wanted.
Excellent. Now for the second part of your task.
Second part? That wasn't part of the deal.
Does that surprise you, Chiron? He is a Borberadian. It is his duty to betray you.
I heard that you came back after all these years. Your screams of pain still sound the same as ever.
You stole my daughter, and now you want to play my son off against me.
She is my daughter. You are the kidnapper.
I wanted to save her soul, and now she's only here because you are forcing her.
She chose me, voluntarily, because I didn't patronize her and lie to her for her whole life. Because I love her for what she really is, and what she will become. Her and Chiron.
You're fighting over Calandra while her camp may be overrun at any moment. Segal, I got you the acid, now finally tell me how I can raise the Akaz.
2 tasks. That is my condition. Not the least because I helped you to free this traitor.
You?
I distracted Azrael's attention. I thereby determined the time for the rescue. I wanted to exact the price later, but apparently Azrael has done it for me. I offered them an idea which had to fascinate Azrael. That perhaps it was the traitor's eyesight which prevented him from seeing his mistake. Once you broke your promise, for which I was disfigured. But now we're even. And Chiron agreed. Right, Chiron?
Chiron, is that true?
He said he would find you at any cost. I did not want it to end this way.
How? How could you let it happen? How could you do that to your father?
Father, I'm not responsible for what other people decide.
Do you still want to be my son? Chiron, do you want that?
I think he will do anything to save Calandra. For that he needs an army. The army of the Akaz. The statues which stand in Calandra's camp. I can tell you how to raise them. I want nothing in return. Just a gesture. Just a small gesture. A symbol. Near the pavilion you will find the room where your siblings grew up. The acid you now have is very potent. A few drops are sufficient to turn the incubators, from which the awakened were cut during their birth, to black mud. That will be a sign to me of which side you are on. The fact that you recognize your true destiny.
You want to awaken the Akaz, those mindless fighting machines. I was there myself when Azrael did that once.
Then tell me how to do it, Father.
That I cannot do, not anymore. I must be sure of you. Segal demands a symbol. I demand one too. In the rooms, you will find frescoes showing the 7 awakened in their eternal struggle. Use the acid to destroy them. That's the least I can ask of the man who wants to be my son.
So you demand a second round in the battle for fatherhood, you fool. This is not about sympathy. This is about truth. Chiron will make the right decision for his destiny.
In
this
Azarel's schemes around conception and birth of the Seven Awakened were impenetrable. Kyra knew he would never be sure which of the two men was his real father. The decision had to be made. He must either choose the man who had brought him up severely, who had protected and lied to him for years, or would he choose Segal, who studied Zolgarov's gifts to Chiron and knew his potential? Chiron had made his decision. The acid was flowing, and whatever it touched was reduced to debris and steaming mud. I knew what you would do.
Without the things you taught me, I would not be standing.
Then let us awaken. This crystal can free them from their stone prison. Some splinters are missing. Azarel's cultists carry them with them.
So I get the splinters from the cultists.
Good, my son. Take...
For your father, for our past, and for me. We've waited long enough, Chiron. The night before the final battle will be ours. Come.
Calandra, that's your gift speaking. I want you.
We are one. And I don't want to...
Calandra, wake up!
Chiron?
It's over, Calandra. You...
Chiron, it's destroying our love.
Tomorrow.
Chiron had long wondered how that which began with a gentle kiss would end. Countless nights had he longed for this moment, and for Calandra. Their hearts trembled, and their bodies, which had craved closeness and tenderness for so very long, pressed together greedily. But they knew that Zul'Gurul's gift had changed them, and that the demonic passion could destroy their love at any time. Though Azrael might command their souls, their hearts belonged to them alone, and they would give them only when the last battle had been fought, when the awakened struggle had come to an end.
The splinters, do you have them?
Yes. An army of lizards. Once the crystal is whole again, they will overrun Azrael's people.
Good.
At your service, noble lady.
A fool is what you are, and a damned handsome...
Enough play.
Azrael will...
And...
Take this.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
I love you.
summoning mistress. We will hold him off.
seems I underestimated you. Well then.
You fools! What have you done?
Silence, Azrael! Your days of seducing people are over!
You are defeated, Azrael. My people are already deciphering your secret of the Pact. And the power you wanted to use to make us your tools. That power will now bring freedom to the world!
Calandra, please listen to me one last time. The seals are broken. You have unleashed Zul'Goroth's power!
Shut up, demon whore! No one believes your lies now. The era of the High Prophetess has ended. The new church will lead the world into a shining new future.
Calandra, what's going on here?
This battle cost us much, yet my troop... The portal will take me into Moloch Mountain, the place of our awakening. From...
Girl, that is madness! You do not know what you're doing!
I am the greatest opener of portals, Portifex Maxima! The next portal will deliver my army to the continent. From Razazor's golden throne will I set the demons on one another, until not a single...
Calandra, you are not your...
Minions of the Heptarch, servants of the countless names for those who are able to hunt and enslave us far too long. Chiron, let us break the chains. We...
Borbarad's minions have caused this mess. I will not be a part of it.
You had the sacred task of breaking the seals. We wanted to establish the new church together.
What you are planning is madness. Not even you can control the demon hordes you want to call.
Whose side are you on?
Calandra, I will follow you.
Whoever is not with me! You pass judgment on Azrael.
Foolish child! She could have been the first paladin.
Silence!
You are the victor, you are right. But that won't stop Zul'Goroth. He has already used you and me. Now it's Calandra's turn.
What is that supposed to mean?
Do you really think I wanted to control the first paladin purely out of lust for power? Do you think me that stupid? The paladin was supposed to be a symbol for the church, young and powerful. Calandra is a prime example of just where that mixture leads. I granted Zul'Goroth much power in our sphere. My bond with the Awakened prevented the demons from controlling them. You destroyed that protection. It won't be any harmless Heshtotim that come through that portal. It will be Zul'Goroth himself. So, kill me if you must. But no, with me dies the only ally you have left against him.
You lie out of habit. How do I know that you...
I'm already finished. What do I have to be afraid of? Killing me would only be denying that which you are. What you had the chance to become, thank...
You brought misery upon me in Calandra. And now you want to sell me all that as having been a blessing. I should kill you.
Perhaps it is difficult to understand. But my defeat is also a victory. Because here you stand, with your indomitable will and your power. Even though I did not carry you in my womb, it was through me that...
Let's say I let you live.
Despite the great sacrifice, my fight with Calandra was fruitful. Our conflict has strengthened the passion of the believer. The weak died in our war, and the survivors are the... And so it is, with joy.
So your purpose is fulfilled, and you accept your death.
I am the living reminder of all that the Master taught us. The Church will live without me, but it will change. No freedom, they will follow you. You are hand and sword of the faith. I am. And whether the soul is important or not...
You say Zolgaroth is...
The sphere portals. Calandra's gift is so powerful because it is the most useful to Zul'Goroth. I should have realized that when I brought her with me. He got you to break the seals. He took advantage of Calandra's idealism. And what role your father played? My greatest weakness. I should have guessed that as well.
For a being of chaos, he has plans surprisingly far ahead.
He snared us all by where our spirit failed.
You will live.
I will be your faithful advisor. The new church will be more powerful than ever before. The seventh seal was the seal of the anointing of the new ruler. You have endowed us with a catechism. What is to be done with it?
Calandra wanted us to renew the church. The book is intended to help.
Thy will be done.
I have something to do now. Calandra's waiting for me.
Once Zul'Goroth has crossed through the portal, only the first paladin will be able... The paladin's power can destroy the portal. But for that, all the gifts must be united.
Then Zolgaroth shall fall through his gift to me.
With the seals broke, the gift's compulsion to kill as well. You can now take Calandra's gift, or give her your own.
The paladin will arise, and he will be free. That was my contract with the demon.
And he will honor it, word for word. You can save Aventuria, and one of your souls. One. Good luck, Chiron.
Azaril cost me more than my eye. But you have... And despite the demonic gift, I'm very... And maybe this new... Most important, we're both alive. Should we...
Let's...
And so Chiron left the monastery, his victory over Azaril complete. First did the demon Zul'Goroth turn her own pact against her, and then did she prove to be no match for those she had used as tools. Borberad's church would survive, and the faithful would spread the new doctrine. The doctrine Chiron had conceived in the course of his bizarre visions in the monastery. Azaril's death had become meaningless, superfluous. In Zul'Goroth, she and Chiron now had a common enemy. An enemy that knew how to use Calandra's ambition and her gift to open a gate into the realm of men. Chiron returned to Moloch Mountain in the company of the man he considered his father. Here the lovers would meet again. Here the final decision about Borberad's paladin would be made. When I first came to Arunk, I thought we could lead a peaceful life here, a house, a respectable trade.
The houses are burning.
Calandra has already opened her gate. Azaril was right. She can't control...
The gift has gone to her head. Zul'Goroth has been... I'll go to her. If we're going to have any...
You're right. Zul'Goroth could step into... We once wore it to protect us from... Yes.
Just wait here.
Oh, you're not dead yet. Based on the results of my previous analyses of your magic powers, I made a somewhat more intense study of Borberadianism. Summoning of the entity Zul'Goroth in the Prios Temple. Influences of Alhanian banishment artifacts. Very interesting. I am sure that my conclusions would make your jaw drop in amazement. In all modesty, of course.
You analyze me again, Magus.
Most certainly. Phil...
You have too much time, Magus.
Perhaps. But perhaps you can... I mean, if you are interested in the relationships in magical theory, which could explain the appearance of a or hyper-quantitative accumulation of demonic entities, no-dex-oriented localization, it doesn't take a genius.
How hard is it?
It depends on the size. These things can grow once they are open, and if an entity worthy of being taken seriously wants to pass through it, they'll do all they can to keep... Only a different, equally powerful being would be able to counter that, and since the probability of massive discharge of temporal impensation, or as it is commonly called, Druid's Revenge. Conclusion, interspace.
What?
Gather all of the power you can find. All...
I have to go.
As you wish. I would...
Chiron the Savior. The trap has sprung.
Anyone who opposes...
She ordered us. She understands that she has conferred the very fact that you let Azrael live on a whip. You are...
You do...
I will crush...
Then.
Welcome to the Limbo.
Let her go. Kalandra's soul was never part of our deal.
Silence, Mortal. I gifted you richly for your services. We are even. The girl fulfills the destiny I gave her when she was born. Borberite, or whomever she has thrown it away on, may have her soul. But your purpose is already fulfilled. I shall pass through her gate into the next era, and your world will accompany me.
He is weakened. Quick! We must close the gate.
Alright, I'll take your gift. Hold still.
Calandra, wait.
It's all my fault. I let myself be seduced. Don't stop me from making amends.
You want to be the first paladin? Sacrifice yourself to throw Zul'Goroth back.
What do you want, Chiron? Sometimes you say one thing and sometimes the other.
What do you mean?
I had the courage to kiss you back then. You stood by me back when we told... If anyone asked during your search for me, did you ever admit that we are more... in the Clawmore? Before... I don't know. I don't want to know if you've kissed any other girl. But what happened between you and... Maybe you have turned her down. But...
That was long ago. I crossed the Netherhells to...
You really think it was... When we met again in the... At least, I thought you understood. And once your father was... All those casualties brought about by my fight against Azrael. Even on that night, as the... Because you loved me.
Stop. You're making the decision even more difficult for the... Calandra, it was...
What?
I was only after the gift, nothing else.
All you want?
If only you hadn't been so stupid. Now you must destroy the power of the first paladin, and yourself with it. It was all pointless.
Chiron, no. I will destroy the gift and the... Because I love you in spite of everything, I will take the... I made mistakes. Don't blame yourself, Chiron. And now...